I want to talk to you tonight about something that is the greatest fear of almost every human being. I want you to think about this for a minute. What is your greatest fear? What do you think is the greatest fear of almost everybody you know? And if you think about it for a while, you'll realize that the answer is right there in front of you, in front of everybody else. The greatest fear that people have is not the fear of snakes, the fear of spiders, the fear of dying, the fear of drowning, the fear of whatever you might think it is. The greatest fear people have, and it's proven day in and day out, is the fear of failure. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people fear failure so badly? If you think about it, nobody becomes successful without failing. Have you ever known anybody that has become successful without failing? You don't. I'll answer that question for you. You don't. Because we learn by failing. If we don't fail, that means we're not trying. Anybody that says, I've gone and done this, I've done that, I've accomplished this, or all these different things that people can talk about, and they said they haven't failed at trying to do it, they're lying, straight up. There's never been a successful man in this world that has gotten there without failing his way to success. I'm going to tell you that right now. The greatest way to success is to fail your way to success. Because if you are not giving everything you have, if you're not going out and doing everything you possibly can, pushing the limits, trying to do the things that you've never done before, learning about something you've never done, trying to just be that incredible person that you want to become, you can't do it without failing. So why is it that people are so afraid of failing? Because people are afraid to fail because it'll make them look weak. They're afraid of failing because if they do, they're afraid that people aren't going to accept them. They're afraid they're not going to get the job. They're afraid they're not going to make the sports team. They're afraid they're not going to be able to do all these things they want to do. Every single person fails their way to success. You know, there's a saying that if you get knocked down, hope that you land on your back so you can see to get back up again. People that fail the most are the ones that are going to be the greatest people in this world. If you think about it for a while, think about all the things you've done in your life. Think about maybe you tried to get a certain job. Maybe you tried to make a certain sports team. Maybe you tried to cook something that you've never done before. You failed. You have failed numerous times. But the greatest failure of ever is not trying to get better. And the greatest failure is quitting because you have failed. What if people quit because they failed, like Thomas Edison, the light bulb, failed 1,000 times. And when a reporter asked him, how did he feel about failing so often? His response was, I didn't fail. I learned 1,000 ways that a light bulb could not be made. So if you just think about it for a while and realize that failure is not failing at all. Failure is a way of encouraging yourself to continue to do what you need to do to become successful. If you do not fail, you won't learn anything. You think every single time you go out to do something, you're supposed to be successful at it? There's no human being in the world that can do that. You cannot be successful without failing. when you go out and try to do something, what do you think's going to happen? Do you have all the answers? You don't. You don't have all the answers to what you're going to do on a daily basis. So how in the world do you think that you can go out and accomplish everything without failing? Failing is the greatest education you will ever have in your life. And if anybody tells you that, don't try to do this, you're going to fail, look at them and say, thanks. I appreciate that. You're right, I am going to fail. But through that, I'm going to be great. Through that, I'm going to be successful. Through that, I'm going to be a stronger person mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I'm going to be a stronger person because I did fail. You go to do something. Remember when you were a little kid, probably you wanted to go off and do something, and mom and dad would say, or your bigger brother or sister, whoever it might be, would say, no, don't do that. You're going to get hurt. Or don't do that. It's not going to work. Or, why would you want to do that? What they're saying is, if you do that, you're going to fail. So go out and do it. If somebody tells you not to do something, go do it, because they are afraid to fail themselves. And that's why they're sitting in the position they're in. If everybody stopped trying to do what they want to do out of fear of failing, we'd be sitting in a very boring world right now. You think Bill Gates quit after he failed? Bill Gates failed a lot. So did the owner of Kentucky Fried Chicken. So did Sam Walton. So did Walt Disney. So did Babe Ruth. I mean, everybody remembers Babe Ruth for all his home runs. Babe Ruth struck out more than almost any professional baseball player ever. Did he fail? Yeah, he failed, but he learned from his failure. He learned how to hit home runs. And that's what life's all about. How do you hit a home run? How do you hit a home run through failure? The best way to hit a home run through failure is to learn from your mistakes. That's the best thing you can do. If you don't, then you have truly failed. If you quit, you have truly failed. There is no failing by trying. If you don't try, then you're a failure. The greatest thing in the world is knowing that you get up and you try, and you try, and you try, and you try, and you never give up. Because if you do, what's the purpose of trying the first time? What's the purpose of even going out and trying to accomplish anything or be successful if all that you are afraid of is not being able to do it? Think about this for a second. What do you want more than anything in the world? What do you want more than almost life itself? What do you want that is so powerful that without it, you just die? Think about it. Here's the answer for you. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to take your next breath, then you'll succeed. Then you will be successful. Imagine somebody holding your head underwater. All you're thinking about is taking that next breath. That's all you're thinking about. How can I take that next breath? That's all that's running through your head. I guarantee you it is. And as soon as you get out of that water, you take that breath, because that's the only thing you can think about. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to take your next breath, you will be successful. And that's the road that you have to take through failure. Because you cannot be successful unless you want to be so successful and you want it so bad that you're willing to fail day after day after day after day. Failure is what will get you to where you want to go. Just think about that for the night, for the day. Think about what you've done and you failed at. And has it gotten you further along to your success? Think about it. Has it gotten you to where you want to be? If no, then you probably got to go out and fail some more. Now, I've been an executive chef for many, many years. And I've worked in some very high-end restaurants. I've cooked with some amazing people. I have done some things that I never thought I could possibly do. But if I quit the first time I failed in a kitchen, I would never be an executive chef today. I would never have accomplished the things I've accomplished in my life. I would never have owned my own restaurants. I would never have cooked with some of the biggest people out there. I would never have had the opportunity to meet some incredible chefs that I look up to this day. If I didn't fail, and if I was not willing to get back up after failing, I wouldn't be who I am today, either would you. You would not be who you are today if you didn't fail. So quit worrying about quit worrying about failing at stuff. Don't let it get you down. And if someone tells you you're going to fail, big deal. Look at them and say thanks. Because the truth is, you will fail. So what is it that you want so bad that you're willing to fail at over and over again? Don't worry about, being a failure. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about failing over and over again. Just go out and do it. Go out and do whatever it is you want to do and become great at it. I hope somebody got something out of this. I hope that down the road you think about, hey, I'm not going to be afraid. Just go out and do it. Don't worry about it. Have a good night.